Hey everybody, today I want to show you this amazing game. It's called Caught in the Rain. It's by Nicholas Robinia, published by the Raven's Ridge Emporium. In this game, you're playing an investigator who is trying to solve a case. And he's going to do this with cards, normal poker deck of cards. And I took out the king, queen, and jack of all suits, and then you would take 3 out, and this is your case that you have to try and get. Now we're going to start in the book. Separate the deck of playing cards in 2 decks. We have the truth deck and we have the clue deck. These are all the remaining cards with the two jokers in them. So now, first step from the truth deck, I'm gonna grab 3 cards. So 1, 2, and 3. Now what I'm going to do is I'm placing this beneath. It's just the like an extra card, and I'm placing it beneath and put them into a card sleeve so I don't accidentally see what my case is. Our next goal is to create and investigate. So what I did is I laminated the player sheet that you will get with your order so we can write on it. So our investigator has 3 attributes. The higher the number assigned, the more capable he is. We have power, insight, and method. Power is strength, speed, and physical resistance. Insight is logical thinking and environmental awareness. And method, you have resourcefulness and creativity. You have 2, 1, and 0, which you can now put into your attributes. And I think logical thinking and environmental awareness, insight, I will give it a 2. Is it strong or has it more creative? Let's do method a 1 and power a 0. Create an obligation using the random obligation table in chapter 4 for inspiration. So in the back you have all these rolling tables, and we're going to go into a sci-fi story. So I'm going to roll on the sci-fi obligations. We have a D66, so the blue one will be first and the violet one will be the second. So this is a 15 for conceal true identity. So our investigator isn't really the one he's telling. Now we get a signature keyword, which is going to be 63. I'm going to use the one on the subject oracle. 63 will be disguise. So sometimes in your cases you will need a keyword, and our signature keyword is always there. You're not going to lose it. Disguise is a pretty good one to get. Next, where are we? Create a name and a trait using the name tables and the trait tables for inspiration. First name 11. Kit 12. Okay. Asher. And a trait 11. Optimistic. Okay. These are our roles for our investigator. We can draw a picture of him, but what I like to do in here is write down what cards we can get. So we have the 4 suits. So what is our case? Create a problem by randomly determine a location and an object using the tables in Chapter 4, and a treachery using the general treachery table. So, location. We do have a sci-fi world, so our story will take place in a spaceship, but somewhere in the spaceship 26 in the arcade. 55 Doctor. That's where the Doctor and treachery 26 appeared. The Doctor appeared out of nowhere in the arcade. Great. Decide your investigation motivation for solving the mystery using the random motivation table for inspiration. 68. What is our motivation? 64. Curse to break. And we're starting with danger on level 0. Okay. So now our goal is to find clues, to find out our truth. So our goal is to find out why the location was significant, why was the object significant, and why did this treachery befall the object. So why did the dog appear out of nowhere in the arcade? Okay. So we're going to play 4 scenes in one day. And a scene can be an investigation, we can reveal truth, we can use our obligation, or we can rest and clear fatigue out of the game. Now, if we're not going to go to our obligation for one of those scenes, bad things are happening, and we don't want that. So at least one of them should always be with your obligation. So we need to figure out a way to conceal our true identity. So maybe let's think about that. How about we got to the space station as a spy, and we were sent to catch a bigger fish, but we don't know that yet. Let's see if we can figure this out later. Investigation roles. Let's start with an investigation scene, which has a lovely, amazing flowchart in the book. Every investigation role starts by determining the starting stage and whether a threat is present. So you're gonna roll 1 die for 1. Everything is quiet. Your investigator makes their way in. Start the scene with the discovery stage. What I should have done first is, of course, set the scene. So we did play as the station guard or the station officer, police officer. So you get called that the Doctor appeared out of nowhere in the arcade, was seen that something is fishy. So our goal is to go to the arcade. And we did roll 1. Nothing is in our way. We can go into the arcade without any problem. So now we're in the discovery stage. We did not use the infiltration stage. So we're looking around. There's no one else in there. Do we see anything that could give us a clue? We're going to do a attribute test for the discovery, and we're going to use one of our attributes to do it. And I think we want to be creative, so we're going to use our method. So we're going to roll both die. This is an 8 plus our 1 is a 9, which is success at the cost. Your investigator succeeds, but there is a complication. What is it and how do they respond? Suffer consequences. Any threat not acted against, now act. Okay. That was a 9, just for me to remember. There is something special in this room. Let's see what tables do we have. Threats, obligations, keywords, clues, locations, or object. Let's try a sci-fi object. We see something in the arcade that is weird. 41. Algorithm doesn't really work, or you can use it as, let's say, computer or some sort of coding system that is in this room. Do see this, but we suffer a consequence. For that, you're rolling a die. It's a 5. And a 5, we have to mark 1 fatigue. You're tired, basically. So if we have 5 fatigue, we have to strike our highest attribute, which we can't use until we rest. So is that then any threats not acted against now would act, which we don't have any. So now our acquisition stage, we are going to this device, this algorithm. Let's say it's like a monitor with this, so it's a black monitor, like with this green code that is moving across. And we're trying to find out if we can see anything in this code or on this monitor. This is now the acquisition stage, is when your investigator discovers a clue. And we're going to use our insight, logical thinking and environmental. So we try with our logic to see if we can find something in this code. So we can add 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10. Success. Your investigator succeeds in their approach. What do they do next? Gain a bonus clue, and threats not acted against now act. What I forgot before, I'm really sorry about this. We went directly to the discovery stage, and now we're at acquisition, so we should have leveled up the danger to 1. Basically, it's going to be bad when you roll your attribute test below this danger level. So at the moment, we're safe. Don't say that too loud. We managed to find something in this monitor, in this algorithm. So we gain a clue, and we hit +10, so we gain a bonus clue. So now we go to the sci-fi clues, and what you do is uncover your card. This is an ace. We roll a 16. We find some biometric data. Okay, this belongs now in our clue deck. And we get the number 5. Clue is 56. Encrypted message. Interesting. Okay. Nice. Okay. So while looking through this clue, we see that through this monitor and algorithm, we see that there are biometric data, and we feel like it's an encrypted message. So now that's interesting. We are finishing the scene with no threats active. So we end the scene, and this was one part of the clock. That was in the arcade. I think he would love to grab this monitor, but can't. So why don't we try and go to the IT technician on board to see if he can help us. This is our next scene. So again, we're going to start with the investigation roll, and we're going to add the danger. So we now, is this true? Only 1 danger? We were in the discovery stage, acquisition stage, +1 danger. Yeah. So we're going to add +1 to a 5, so +6. Something or someone has noticed your investigator. Start the scene with infiltration stage and introduce a level 2 threat. So before we can reach the IT, something or someone is in our way. And we're going to use threats. What is in our way? 63. Alternative gravity. Level 2. So every now and then the space station hits a blind spot and the gravity changes. He hears a beep and knows, okay, gravity change is coming. Seconds later, he's in the air. So we're going to need our power to grab onto something and try and move forward because time is running out, or time is ticking. So attribute test with power is 0, and that's only a 5. Not good. That's bad. Failure. Your investigator fails in their approach. What is in their way? Well, he's in the air. Gain a keyword and suffer consequences. Any threats not acted against now act. So gaining our first keyword. 12, it's chip. We suffer a consequence. So 2, increase the level of threat by 1. If there are no threats present, increase danger by 1 instead. So we now have gravity 3. It's taking us longer than we want to. Any threats not acted against now act. I believe it says any threats not acted against act now, except for any threats just introduced. And this was just introduced. So I believe this would not count. We're going into the discovery stage. So we were able to get back into gravity. This can happen at any time. We add a danger and we're at the discovery stage. Now, what I want to do, keywords, using keywords. So whenever this happens, now I want to keep my signature keyword because we can only use it once for the rest and we only just started. Let's use the keyword chip. You can use keywords to reroll an attribute test that you failed. You can strengthen a clue, which I will show you when we get there, and remove a threat from the scene as if you had defeated it. So I'm going to use my chip to defeat the gravity. So we now went to the IT, grabbed our crew member from the IT and asked him if he can help us. So let's see. Danger is 2. Let's use method. 9 plus 1 is 10. Success. So he will come with us. And we ask him if he has something that could help us. Gain a bonus clue. And there's something he has that will help us. So let's go to the objects. 61, a monolith. So he's grabbing a monolith that should help us crack the code or the algorithm. And we gain a clue. Joker. Whenever a joker is drawn from the clue deck, even when instructed to discard a card, choose a clue set that has not been established as a truth and make it a false lead. Then discard the joker and the cards in the clue set and draw a new card. We only have 2 clues that we can discard: biometric data or encrypted message. And I feel like encrypted message is the way to go. So he has a false lead. We thought it was an encrypted message, but let's say the IT specialist just laughs at us. Oh, and let's say change it up. So we're going to keep the thread and everything, but we are in the arcade. We didn't move to the IT to grab him. We asked him to come because this thread was gravity. So we were in the arcade. When this happened, he came, he brought the monolith with him, and now he's trying to decipher this algorithm and see if he can grab a code, but it's not an encrypted message. So this one is false. FL. Discard the joker and the cards in the clue set and draw a new card. So we're now going to discard the 5 and the joker, which is no longer a clue for us. So whenever we're going to draw another 5 from here, we know it's a false lead, which would have worked with our encrypted message. But now we would know that the encrypted message was false. So when we grab a 5, we just discard it and do not gain the clue. We do not draw a replacement card, which sucks. But we do now draw a new card. And we have a 6. That was because we had a plus 10, right? So, clue 51. Televised report. So while he's working on this monitor, he finds a televised report. Let me grab a different marker. Be right back. So now we do add a danger. And we're in the acquisition stage to see if we can find something out of this monitor, this code that is working. And we're going to use our insight. 6, 8. Success at the coast. And we do roll a double, so we get there. Let me add that. So we do get a clue. Success at the coast. We gain a clue, which will be a 5, of course. Thanks to the Joker, this is a false lead. So it still looks like we would have like an encrypted message, but it's just that our IT guy, let's give him a name. Let's say Aaron did not figure out a way to get into the code. Suffer consequence. 5, mark 1 fatigue. And now, because we rolled double, we rolled 2 3s. Additionally, after resolving the outcome, a random event occurs. Page 32. Threats not acted. There are no threats in. So we have a random event 57. 14, guard. 46. So we have a random event, guard, and let's say 46, restore. So maybe the guard is coming and he wants to... We are the guard. So our idea is to grab the monitor and keep it safe, but Aaron is telling us, no, you can't do this, otherwise you will lose the code on the screen. Maybe I can find anything else that could help us crack the code. So we have to leave the monitor in the room, in the arcade. Okay, that was our clue. There are no threats, so we're going to end the scene here. So next, I would like to go into our office and see if there's something we can see on the surveillance cameras. So let's see. You have to add the danger for 3, 4. Something or someone is in your investigator's way. Start the scene with the infiltration stage and introduce a level 1 threat. 65. A biker gang. That doesn't really work. I'm gonna roll again because biker gang doesn't work. 31. Scrambler signal. So going back to our office, but we do have a problem with the signal on our door. We can't open it right away. So you have to try and crack our door. We're going to try our insight, the logic. That's 10, 12. So we succeed. We're adding another danger. We're now at 4. We succeed by opening the door to our office. We get a bonus clue. And any threats not acted against now act. It was just created, so it would not act for us. And it's a 3. So let's see. Clue number 3 is a 21, which is timestamp. So maybe we get a message from the captain. Let's say Captain 46 Steins. Captain Steins, who's working on the case as well, is talking to all the crew members on the ship, and he's telling us through the message when it happened. So we know the timestamp. Or we're trying to figure out the timestamp. The threat just happened, so it won't do anything. We're now in the discovery stage. I'm trying to defeat the threat. I'm trying to fix the signal. At any time, you can act against a threat to try and remove it from the scene. To do this, make an attribute test. If successful, make a mark. So we're trying with our logic. Ew. That's a 4. Thank God I used the insight. But it's still a failure. So we gain a keyword, but we suffer consequence. And it was a double, so we have a random event. 64 fluid. Suffer consequence. Increase the level of a threat. So we're now at 2. Any threat not acted against, now act. Okay, I think he's going to act now. So I'm going to roll a d6. It's a 6. Plus the 2 from the level is 8. Mark 2 fatigue. Not what I wanted. And we rolled a double before, so that was a bad turn. 51 reveal. Expensive. Maybe while we're in our office, there's a bill appearing. We bought something for concealing our true ID, and it was expensive. And we have to find a way to pay this bill fast. But still, we are in our investigate scene. The sum less than the danger. We had 4, and danger is 4. So I don't think this would count. So before I'm going to discovery, I'm gonna use my fluid to remove the threat. Yeah, let's do that. Discovery stage. We are in our office still. A 13. Oh, that's a 4. And we're using, doesn't matter, it's still a failure. So we're still trying to get into our computer, but we have a bit of a problem with it. We gain a keyword and suffer consequences. 34 is signal. That works. Suffer consequence. 5. Mark 1 fatigue. That was our last fatigue. Okay, so we have to struck our insight. We can't use this attribute at the moment, but we clear our fatigue. And if this happens during an investigation scene, introduce a threat and skip to the escape stage. So we don't even get a clue. The signal is too bad, and we get a threat. 14. Malfunctioning tech. Yeah, there's a lot of problems with signal and tech that doesn't work on the station. So maybe this is part of what's happening at the moment. Maybe. But I have to finish our scene without getting a clue. So I have to go to the escape. And we're trying to flee using our power with a 10. Success, your investigators succeed in their approach. Gain a bonus clue. Any threats not acted against now will act. We're going to get another 5. Great. And the malfunction tech is working against us. So we have to roll consequent. 7. Mark 2 fatigue. So we're now finishing this day with an obligation scene, and I think, let's see what subject we get. 44 attack. Intelligent. Let's use intelligent. So an obligation scene is we have to try and conceal our true identity. And we got, what was the, I forgot. It's late. Intelligent. So maybe we are in our office, so we try and hack our way through the computer to see if someone is on our case, and we did not find anyone that is after us. We strike our reputation and we're going to discard a clue. This 3 is no longer for us, which would have been great. So this was the 4th scene. Now we can either go to try and make an accusation, but I didn't even have a chance to find anything out. So we're going to rest. A new day has begun. Follow the steps below before continuing the game. Mark a fatigue for each unstruck obligation, which I did struck it. Nothing happened. Clear all marks on the clock and all strikes on any obligations. So we're going to generate a random event. 56. Fear. So we fear that. So we're still scared that someone will try and find out who we are, our true identity. Then roll an attribute test. We're still trying to go and hack the computer again. So use the insight. 5, 8, 10. Investigate to succeed and to approach. No one is coming for us. We gain a bonus clue, which is a 10. 46. Evidence of life. But our tech malfunctions. So 3 plus 1 is 4. Discard a card from the clue deck. Number 8 is gone. Okay, that was one day. Let's see what day 2 brings us.